Only the deepest oceans hold more secrets than the vast, thick woods and jungles. These green-wooded oceans are home to many mysterious creatures, powers, and even civilizations. Only those who care about the trees and flowers are allowed to enter their domain, so beware. If they notice you carrying an axe or flame, your body will feed the earth for their younglings in no time. Poison vines, flesh-eating plants, wolves, bears, and all the rest will give their lives to protect their lands. But the creatures are not alone. Adventurers tell stories about the whispers far within the woods, as if the trees are talking to themselves. Some even go as far to tell the stories about the walking trees that could be seen in the distance, keeping their eyes on the intruders and making sure they are showing respect to the forest. These gigantic creatures, later named Treant protectors, are the main reason why nobody has dared to go deeper in the woods. And for good reason. Some secrets should remain secrets. Far to the west, in the mountains beyond the Vale of Augury, lie the remains of an ancient power, a fount of eldritch energy nestled deep in the high woods. It is said that the things that grow there grow strangely. To the forces of nature, this is a sacred place, made to stay hidden and unknown. Those Treant protectors, ageless and mighty sentries, are the keepers of the green. Their task is to protect the secrets of the forest, and so they were not allowed to go beyond its borders. And truly, for forest creatures as well as for the protectors, lands beyond their borders were of no interest. For time untold, they tended to their holy ground, uninterrupted, only dimly aware of the changing world beyond. Yet, inevitably, the wider world grew aware of this untamed land, and with each passing winter, the outsiders grew bolder. It was clear that the intruders would soon find enough courage to enter the forest, and if no retaliation was to be found, they would start cutting and destroying trees and plants to protect themselves against the cold winter nights. The slow pace of Treant protectors meant the sentries had to evolve into something much better, faster, stronger. For as soon as the intruders came with the cutting tools and huge axes, trees were rapidly getting destroyed. Centuries of peaceful traditions had to be uprooted, as this was a real danger, threatening to consume the whole forest. One night, creatures of the forest agreed to retaliate, and for the first time in their history, they had to transform from the protectors into destroyers. It was obvious that in order to protect and survive, they had to use their power and strength to bring an end to these strange and small folk outside the forest. Their attack was massive. The whole town was eradicated in a single night. The forest awoke, and the trees uprooted to defend themselves. For these folks, the attack came as their worst nightmare. This was the first time they had to defend themselves against the gigantic tree-like beasts who crushed the city walls with ease. They were completely stunned, as they realized nothing could be done. Hundreds of lifeless bodies were left as a sign that the forest could defend itself if necessary. The nation was punished and erased for trying to survive the winter nights. Sadly, they could not know that the only thing keeping them alive was the only thing that would take their lives. There were no good or bad in this war, only those who could or couldn't survive.
Life becomes death, becomes new life, as it should be.
When all that bloomed had finally finished their stay, curiosity had overcome caution. The peaceful sentries had learned their lesson from the bloodshed. They could no longer simply ignore the world beyond their quiet borders. It was decided. A lone protector would be sent into the wider world and instructed to wander until the glaciers arose once more, to observe the changing land and its creatures, and to discover what unknown dangers could threaten their sacred ground.